have everything ready. For some reasons, Mark will be doing the presentation online. He's going to be using Zoom, so we're going to have him on the screen. And actually, we're going to be broadcasting the presentations to our Facebook page and YouTube page, okay? So if you guys want to get back to the presentations and take notes, all that's going to be online for to everybody, okay? So, yeah, then we have Mark was as a main speaker. We have Gil Rodriguez going to be a second speaker. And we have Nelson Martin, which is the president of Terry Hill Coffee Products. I'm going to share more about this company in the presentation. And I'm going to be speaking about YQS engagement on the stormwater industry as we continue with the presentation. So I'm ready for Mark.
To avoid echo, I'm going to turn my volume down. So good morning, everybody. I regret that I can't be there in person today, but I'm grateful that through technology we can meet and go over some of my experience in the field of stormwater management system design and operation. And I apologize in advance for the long title. Today I'll focus on green-gray infrastructure in the urban environment, specifically related to large underground infiltration and/or detention systems, their design and operation. So together we have a main goal, and that is stormwater compliance. As stormwater management system designers and operators and maintenance managers, with the task of ensuring compliance with stormwater regulations of these systems, there is much we can do before they're even built that will help in this endeavor. Specifically, ensure that the systems we design can be maintained effectively. So there's two main takeaways I'd like to walk away with by the end of this presentation. The first one is that designing with maintenance in mind can reduce lifetime operating costs, provide safe work sites, and minimize system disruptions, compliance issues, and penalties. And secondly, relying on experienced maintenance professionals and dedicated staff is critical to the performance, compliance, and ultimately the life of gray and green stormwater infrastructure. So there's no substitute for experience is basically what I've learned, and from the people, the great people around me who had experience and provided me with that. So first I'd like to say that a little bit about myself. I'm now semi-retired and working part-time for Rodriguez Consulting, a very fine company whose mission and goals I greatly respect. I spent most of my career working for the Philadelphia Water Department, designing municipal water and sewer systems, and working with outside agencies coordinating water and sewer relocations impacted by highway, bridge, site construction, and a multitude of public works and private development projects. After 22 years in a water and sewer design division, I was fortunate to be able to be given the opportunity to work in the water department's operation division in the collector systems unit, and eventually the water conveyance unit as an engineering supervisor, then operations manager, where I called home for another 15 years. It's there that we created the Green Stormwater Operation Unit, now tasked with maintaining the city's GSI in the combined and MS4 sewer sheds. So, in operation, there was weekly challenges. They were like staffing, equipment and vehicle support, budget control, regulatory compliance, maintenance contract management, risk management oversight, effective PM, and emergency response and repair of system failures. I was then an active participant with a designer's background, seeing cause and effect of water and sewer and GSI designs within an increasingly crowded right-of-way. In operations, you live every day with the designs that were built and then placed in files water. So when you see the same problems with system performance issues, you look for ways to improve on their design. It was in operations that I really learned that there's no substitute for experience. And in operations, experience usually comes from dealing with difficult situations. In the urban environment with overlapping public right-of-way and public property users, this task is daunting. So working with and relying on experienced maintenance managers and staff was key in the continued GSI system performance. Providing feedback to the design engineers when an issue became evident was key in developing better designs. Okay, so Here's a slide of what I'd like to just show an exhibit of something that occurred not every day, but every now and then. This collapse in a fish town was caused by a defective water service leaking into a defective private lateral. So we're talking about a 6-inch combined lateral from a private property that fed the soil that caused this collapse. As you can see, there's gas lines, water, sewer, and all manner of vehicle access is impacted, pedestrian access and access to homes. So this is the environment that we are working in, that we live in, and that we have to be cognizant of as designers and operators. So now get into what the City of Philadelphia's objective in time with GSI. So a large portion of the Philadelphia system dates back to the 19th and mid-20th century. The entire system consists of over 3,000 miles of combined and separate sewers. Over 60% of the system is combined, and the city maintains over 160 permanent combined sewer outfalls and hundreds of separate sewer outfalls. In 2011, the Water Department and the City of Philadelphia adopted the Green Cities Clean Water Program through the CSO consent order agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. This ambitious and groundbreaking program called for managing stormwater flow in combined sewer system areas in the oldest and densest urban environments in the city. The Water Department's watershed unit, and through a combined effort with input from finance, planning, design, construction, and operation units, developed a robust program with all manner of green stormwater infrastructure pilot projects. I was part of the design development process with specific focus on ensuring the effective, safe, sustainable operation and maintenance of these facilities. Eventually, we created a new operations unit specifically focused on GSI inspection, maintenance, and repairs. The Philadelphia Water Department designed, built, and now maintains thousands of public green infrastructure systems throughout the combined MS4 sewer sheds. So what I'm going to focus on here is system type called Large Area Disconnect Project, and also basically creating stormwater systems within the combined system that collect and manage stormwater, and then either put it in the storm sewer system or in the combined sewer system. So briefly, large area disconnect stormwater projects, as shown here is what we're showing here is several city blocks drainage sheds, which would then be directed to a large public property site, typically a recreation or athletic field. An extensive separate storm sewer system within existing urban combined system sewer shed. Multiple blocks of upstream street and sidewalk runoff is collected in new stormwater inlets placed just upstream of existing combined inlets. The runoff collected in the upstream storm sewer inlet is then directed to the stormwater facility through a network of shallow iron storm sewer pipes. Playing fields and multi-use recreational areas are then built above the stormwater detention facility. The storage elements are typically constructed of precast reinforced concrete construction with influent and effluent control structures. Level monitoring devices are typically installed to gauge system performance. This concept is similar to large underground infiltration and/or detention systems used to control stormwater for private commercial developments or in cases where limited space is available. Available stormwater debris catchment systems and storage products and controls are typically specified. Furthermore, this concept is also used in smaller format in street right-of-ways using stone beds or fabricated storage units commonly used in the industry. So, I apologize. I don't know why this isn't working. So, now let's get into the daily concerns, conditions, and issues maintenance managers, their staff, and contractors must address when performing maintenance on gray infrastructure in urban areas, public property, and right-of-ways. All of them affect the annual operating costs. It should be things a designer considers when preparing plans and specifications for these facilities. Most of the difficulties with O&M, stormwater management infrastructure, is due to work site mobilization and access, and the intrinsic hazards and conditions in the urban environment and public right-of-way. Complaint I've heard in this is that there's no easy way to get equipment to the assets needing maintenance. So first we'll discuss location. Where are the structures that need routine maintenance located? Are they within a fence line or in a public right-of-way where people in traffic are exposed to work hazards? The design considerations should be provide a safe, secure, accessible work area around assets requiring routine maintenance. Vehicles. The maintenance vehicles needed pose a risk to the public or property. Cars, buildings, street furniture, sidewalk paving. Large flusher trucks require large work areas to operate and for maneuvering. Sidewalks will crack under their load. They cannot drive on grass areas. The design considerations that should be made are provide a safe, secure, accessible work area around assets requiring routine maintenance, once again, and be aware of the underground and above ground site constraints, fences, trees, buildings, light poles, etc. Provide a clear work zone. Understand the maintenance that's required for the facilities that are being designed. Next, inspections. Is there adequate access for inspection? Can mobile CCTV cameras or pole cameras or even personnel access or see all parts of the system for inspection? If a camera can't get to the spot, a jetter can't either, and this is vulnerability. Many times the buried assets consist of inaccessible pipe manifold systems, crates, bottomless arches that cannot be inspected or flushed. Next page. If manned entry is viable, does it require confined space permits? The design considerations engineers should think about is design and locate practical and adequately sized access ports and manholes that provide the means for complete, unobstructed inspections and cleaning equipment. This must be considered a priority. Next, we'll move on to work scheduling. Operations managers have to deal with work scheduling. Does routine maintenance require prior notification to the primary property user? Could it disrupt planned or special events? This is specific to recreation, schools, and any infrastructure where we don't have control over the surface usage. The design considerations, again, should be try and locate critical elements needing maintenance away from active or usable spaces. Next, difficulty that we see is obstructions. Is the element requiring maintenance in a parking lane or a parking area? Design considerations. If the asset location could be obstructed at any time and delay work, is there a better location available? Fixed obstructions or even future obstructions related to the primary property user's activity, i.e. parks and recs or even future improvements we may not be aware of, can impact our ability to schedule, to access, and to perform work, which can become costly. Next, a problem that we do see in operations is multiple assets requiring maintenance in various locations. Does the facility consist of multiple assets requiring multiple equipment moves? Equipment setup and breakdown consumes valuable time. The design considerations should be, are some elements redundant? Can elements be consolidated? Another very important aspect of operating these systems is work zone protection. Are street or lane closure permits required? Are no parking signs required beforehand? Is work zone protection required every time staff or contractors perform routine or specialized maintenance? Does the work zone require complex and time-consuming traffic control measures? Design considerations. Be aware of asset locations and their impact on traffic. If the asset will be maintained frequently, provide a pull-off lane that allows for maintenance vehicles, provide hard surfaces and safe areas to work. These temporary work zones are hazardous to the public and should be considered off limits to the public. And as they're doing maintenance, you can't be aware of everything that goes on the street. The next issue that's related to operations that can be controlled through design is when we use specialized and complex pretreatment and outlet structures and non-standard parts and materials. Overly complex and specialized debris collection devices can be problematic, expensive, and difficult to maintain, repair, or replace. They may need unique and specialized equipment or skilled staff. Unavailable materials to repair is also a problem. Supply chain issues and customized materials are sometimes difficult to procure. The design considerations are, unless unavoidable, use simple, tried and true debris collection devices and systems and processes. Avoid complex systems, expensive and hard to acquire materials. Specify and detail standard, easily acquired, replaceable, and robust parts and elements able to withstand abuse. Next issue that operations deals with is staffing, and the staffing required to maintain these systems. What classification of workers is needed to perform the maintenance tasks? Skilled, semi-skilled, licensed, heavy equipment operators, Class C, CDL licenses, crane operators, tanker truck operators. They all require some certificates, training, or licenses. Is the work seasonal? Is it on call? Is it annual and or specialized contracts required to maintain the systems that we're designing? The design considerations should be limit complex and unnecessary elements. Another important issue is access to water. If flushing is required for maintenance, is there an adequate water supply available? In order to access the water, is a permit required? A hydrant permit in Philadelphia is required, and there's a cost. What is the cost? Cross connection to the distribution system can be a hazard if someone is not familiar with using hydrants. The hydrants can be damaged if they're not operating properly, causing water hammer through the system or a break in the system. Release of chlorinated water into a stream is possible if the system is connected to a storm sewer system. Dechlorination or disposal is required by state law. These are considerations. So design consideration is discuss best practices with the municipal water supplier. If it's a municipally owned facility, in-house staff and contractor policies and procedures may differ. Okay, that's a critical thing is for water supply. It's costly and time consuming. Next, liabilities. Out in the urban environment, the public right of way, liabilities are inherent and preventable. In some cases, injury to public related to surface mounted access structures and systems occurs. Injuries to personnel and public during the course of work is an issue. Vehicle accidents in work zones happen all the time. I've seen it. Design consideration should be, when designing access manholes and ports, avoid designing surface features that would pose a slip and fall liability. Place them in areas that aren't typically walked upon. They can also cause a disruption of maintenance in public areas. Okay, so one of the last things is work order management systems. Managers rely on computerized work order management systems every day to schedule this work. New system assets require work order management systems updates. Do you have a PM maintenance and scheduling system that can adapt to these new types of assets that have to be implemented in the computerized system, such as Maximo, CityWorks, or GSI documentations? So the design consideration should be, system designer should provide operations managers with final plans with future assets shown so they can be input in this system. I'd like to leave you with one final statement, and I apologize for the technical difficulty. It's on my end. Finally, I'd like to state that a robust, well-supported and funded maintenance program using experienced professional system operators is essential to the success of the stormwater management program and sustaining regulatory compliance. I thank you for your time, and I can't stress enough how important it is that communication from finance, design, planning, construction, and operations critical. Thank you very much.
YQS, a unique company, is that we can perform from the stage 1 of the stormwater program all the way to the end. Under the umbrella of YQS, we can offer everything that is engaged into the stormwater industry.
Before I worked here, I didn't realize how much trash we throw down. Everything accumulates somewhere. You know, going through inspections and maintenance and seeing the amount of garbage and sediments that accumulates down there, you know, it's crazy. It's awesome to work for a company that is worrying about the environment the way we do. You know, at the end of the day, it's basically worrying about the next generation.
We spend a lot of time working up the drawings, analyzing what the situation is on the site, what the water flow is.
In this project, we're basically laying out cubes pretty much for the water to funnel through.
What made YQS a unique company is that we can perform from the stage 1 of the stormwater program all the way to the end. Under the umbrella of YQS, we can offer everything that is engaged into the stormwater industry.
Before I worked here, I didn't realize how much trash we throw down. Everything accumulates somewhere. You know, going through inspections and maintenance and seeing the amount of garbage and sediments that accumulates down there, you know, it's crazy. It's awesome to work for a company that is worrying about the environment the way we do. You know, at the end of the day, it's basically worrying about the next generation.
We spend a lot of time working up the drawings, analyzing what the situation is on the site, what the water flow is.
In this project, we're basically laying out cubes pretty much for the water to funnel through. That is going to be underneath of a bridge so that the water basically doesn't eat away at everything underneath the bridge. If this infrastructure wasn't here, it would erode the earth away, which would then cause the bridge to either collapse or have a sinkhole.
So one of the coolest things about working for YQS is the friendship we have. We become family.
So it's really a generational company, solving problems for generations to come. Company, solving problems for generations to come.
Well, thank you so much to Mark. I know we have
Company, solving problems for generations to come.
issues with technology. Understand? So not always is in our favor, but thank you, Mark. He has a lot of experience, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be back for some questions at the end of the presentation. So the next video will be for the engineer Gil Rodriguez. He's the founder and owner of Greenstorm Solutions. Unfortunately, Gil was joined us today, but last minute change. He was called for a jury duty in Philadelphia, so no way to escape from that one. So he put his presentation in a video, and we're going to share with you guys right now. Okay.
Hello, my name is Gil Rodriguez, and I'd like to thank YQS for the opportunity to present to you today. I am a water resources engineer and the founder of Greenstorm Water Solutions. I have worked as a consultant for the Philadelphia Water Department for the past 10 years, primarily in the acquisition, management, and design of grant-funded stormwater retrofit projects. I also serve as an adjunct professor for the School of Landscape Architecture and the Master of Science in Sustainable Design at Thomas Jefferson University, where I teach urban hydrology. I'd like to thank Mark for helping us understand the opportunities and challenges associated with the development of GSI in Philadelphia's right-of-way in response to the Green City Clean Waters Program. And what I'd like to do now is to cross the property boundary and focus my presentation on GSI within the private side and share my experience as both consultant and educator in relations to the Stormwater Incentive Program. So the Stormwater Incentive Program is part of Philadelphia's Green City Clean Waters. it subdivides into the stormwater credits, the stormwater grant, and the development incentive program. For the stormwater credit, it provides either development funding or a reduction in the amount of money property owners pay to the city to manage stormwater produced within their site. I have heard by owners this referred to as money they pay because it rains. There are a number of incentives which include credits for open space, also credits for impervious area reduction. What this is this is meant for properties that have downspout or pavement areas such as sidewalks, which are righted to grassy and more natural areas where the water has the opportunity to just infiltrate into the ground. Also for properties that have tree canopy over impervious areas such as parking lots and roofs. There is also the credits for managed impervious area. This is meant for properties that manage runoff with stormwater management practices, either voluntarily or as required by the stormwater regulations. It also provides, this is meant also for properties that drain directly to the waterways without using city-owned infrastructure. Lastly, there is the NPDES credit. This is for properties that hold active NPDES for industrial stormwater discharge activities, where the operator must have been in compliance with the permit requirements during the preceding 12 months. In addition to these credits, there is the stormwater grant. This is meant for non-residential private property owners that would like to build a stormwater retrofit to be eligible for stormwater credits. The credits are based on the amount of impervious area that the retrofit gets to manage. Lastly, we have development incentives. This is meant for development projects where systems required by the stormwater regulations are able to also collect and treat runoff from the right-of-way. Based on the amount of public impervious area the system gets to manage, they could receive funding towards the development itself and not for stormwater credit purposes, of course. Needless to say, non-residential properties may present a great opportunity to treat significant runoff from both private and public impervious areas. This may be the result of more open spaces, larger impervious areas with fewer subsurface utilities as compared to the right-of-way, or areas already being disturbed by new development or redevelopment, among other factors. And I know that with this, given the variety of uses and availability of space, some of these sites may present a larger array of opportunities as far as the type of GSI that may be proposed. This may include rain gardens, bioretention systems, green or blue roofs, porous pavement, subsurface systems, and stormwater harvesting systems like cisterns. What I wanted to say before is that, of course, I acknowledge I am preaching to the choir when I talk about this, but let's keep in mind that the initial feasibility analysis and subsequent development methodology for private GSI follows a similar logic to what we would expect on the public side. However, there are a few distinctions which may make private GSI more desirable, and as well as feasible to develop and maintain. To give you an example, keeping in mind that this is a case-by-case basis, we may encounter sites with less space constraints and perhaps a potential for less subsurface utility conflicts as compared to the public GSI, or there may be an opportunity to design a system of larger footprint, which lower the loading ratio. Or we may be able to incorporate more accessible and cheaper methods of maintenance, such as forebays, some structures, vegetative pretreatments, among others. Plus, with the right incentive, the maintenance responsibility may be negotiated with property owners, which brings me to my next point. As you may all know, sustainable development is often categorized by the triple bottom line. This is seen as the most popular model to evaluate and understand sustainable development. It recognizes that in order to achieve sustainable development, the developer should in fact have three balance sheets, one for economic, one for environmental, and one for social. This is known as people, planet, profit. These data points allow for a more viable, fair, and manageable measure of success. However, in more recent times, there has been a proposal to incorporate a fourth bottom line. This is a concept extended from the triple bottom line, where instead of simply focusing on people, planet, and profit, we also get to include a motivation factor such as spirituality, ethics, purpose, culture, compassion, etc. For example, let's imagine that we have a rain garden, and that this rain garden is also meant to be a central feature around an outdoor classroom for a school setting, where children get the opportunity to not only just passively learn, but actively witness certain aspects of concepts like the water cycle, pollination, biodiversity, etc. Another example of a rain garden may be an opportunity to connect scripture with environmental stewardship in a house of worship, or an opportunity to develop hands-on skills for job training. Perhaps a rain garden may be designed to create engagement for outdoor activities in a retirement community, or be designed as a central piece around private events such as wedding, in parks, etc. This strategy allows us to present this GSI system as sort of like a catalyst for something greater than its intended use. What we're doing is that we're purposely creating an opportunity for a deeper connection between the stormwater management system and the people around it. And perhaps paving the way to extend the longevity of the system through community engagement, as defined by the specific setting. As we heard from Mark, there are very real challenges associated with GSI development and maintenance within the right-of-way. I don't want to romanticize sustainability in any way or form. Obviously, the development and maintenance of these types of systems within the private setting presents its own set of difficulties and challenges, which, in my experience as a consultant, are as specific as the sites themselves. However, it is an option that, for the right sites, the right property owners, and the right program, it may be worth considering. The systems are just as good as the work that we put forth once they are constructed. If there is no maintenance, obviously it is not money well spent. When we're able to go ahead and create a connection between a mere stormwater management system, which may be in the right of way as something disconnected from the people around it, we have an opportunity to have people to care for this. I mean, if we incorporate this rain garden, like I said, I mean, as part of something greater than what it does for the stormwater, now you're going to have people who are going to care about this. They're going to have a connection. They're going to be able to, take care of it. I mean, if they see that there's something broken, or there's trash, or there is sediment, there is an incentive for them to be able to be engaged in the management, in the operation and the maintenance of all these systems, and therefore create longevity. With this, I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to Gil. Again, he was supposed to be here present with us this morning. Unfortunately, he couldn't go, but that information is very well. So the next speaker that I want to present is Mr. Nelson Martin. Nelson is the president of the Terry Hill Concrete Products, and I'm going to speak more about the company than Terry Hill and the relation with your quality solutions. But I want Nelson to come up here and give us a feedback of what is Terry Hill and what Terry Hill does, a little bit of the story about the company.
Thank you, JC. Welcome, men and women. Thank you for participating. My name is Nelson Martin. I'm with Terry Hill Concrete Products. Currently, I'm president. I started picking up trash in the yard and picking up broken blocks and picking up skids and so on and so forth when I was 13 years old. That was the first year my dad could get me working papers. I don't know if any of you guys remember what they're all about or not. You couldn't work in industry unless you went into the courthouse and filed working papers, and then you were only allowed to work a certain amount of time, certain amount of hours and stuff like that. And finally, I was able to work in the shop. At that point, I thought, wow, I had graduated. I was working with the guys making products, and now I'm 65 and I'm president of the organization. So I'll let you do the math as to how long I've been working in the precast industry. Dad always told us you don't brag. He said you let your deeds do the speaking for it. I mean, he was really firm on that. He did not want to hear us boys bragging about the jobs that we did. So coming from an old Mennonite background, it's hard for me to stand up here and talk about the virtues of Terry Hill Concrete Products. I like to have the name speak for itself, but in my position at this point, I have to start to say some of the things that I feel are of value in dealing with Terry Hill Concrete Products. We started in 1919. I think we have a trusted and respected name in the business. We are primarily known as underground drainage structure people. Box culverts, con-span bridges, manholes, inlets, specialty items, but our forte is underground and heavy highway. That's what we're known for. We are a locally owned company. We have 150 full-time employees. We produce over 30,000 yards of concrete every year. We produce over 4 million 8-inch equivalent blocks. We have a block division and a precast division. And we have thousands of bridges that we have installed throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, the Turnpike. And I keep saying this, I'm going to say more about this in a few minutes. It all comes down to our people. It all comes down to our people. You don't stay in business for 100 years by having one man at the helm that's a great guy. It's all about Terry Hill Concrete Products and the people that we have. Our values are integrity, ingenuity, stewardship, and service. To me, the special stuff, the ingenuity stuff, that's what really gets me cranking when I see special projects come along, like how can we solve this problem? What can we do here? The service is another thing that I'm getting back to the previous generations. Dad drilled into us. He said, quality and service, quality and service. I heard that over and over and over again growing up. The quality of the product that you put out must be what your customer expects, and the service is paramount. You say what you're going to do, and then you do what you've said you're going to do. and you break your back making sure you keep commitments. I like what Lee Iacocca said, and I know Lee Iacocca has good and bad points to him, but he said, move, follow, or get out of the way. Okay? And I just think that's a really good saying. Move, follow, or get out of the way and let somebody else do it. The Terry Hill Advantage. So what exactly does it mean? Number one, in my opinion, it means quality. First and foremost, it means quality, that you are going to make the best product you possibly can. That's just your ultimate commitment. You're going to make the best product you ultimately can. It's expertise. There are companies that have got lesser forms of engineering or lesser forms of other things, but I think we try our best to provide a full-rounded expertise for the customer from beginning to end. It's convenience. It's no better solution. It's one-stop shopping. People make the difference. Our people make the difference. I get together with our employees at least twice a year for various occasions, and I reiterate to them every time, it's not about our buildings, it's not about our land, it's not about the machinery. Anybody can buy buildings, land, and machinery, but it's about our people. Nothing can get done, nothing can happen from sales to engineering, to production, to delivery, to accounting, because contractors have very specific rules they want you to follow for your invoicing and accounting and stuff like that, and none of them are the same. So, we bend over backwards to try and satisfy our customers, and it's about the people. Terry Hill Concrete Products is one of the original first run NPCA approved inspected plants. As a matter of fact, my brother sat on the committee to develop the rules, the regulations, the framework for NPCA certification. And we were one of the original plants that was certified. We're certified for over 30 years now, approaching 35. We serve, as I previously stated, 4 states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and the Turnpike Commission. Our expertise, some of these, the projects. This is the Exeter Commons underground drainage basin. This top center is some hydrodynamic separators that we put in Mechanicsburg. The picture on the right-hand side is a Conspan triple cell bridge that we manufactured that was installed 7 miles away from our shop in a little village called Brownstown. Pictures of the manufacturing facility and of the product that's hollow with the beam on top of it. That was for Hershey Park. And then the one in the lower left is a project that we're very proud of. It was a hydrodynamic separator, a special hydrodynamic separator that we manufactured. An engineer from New York City called us and said, I saw your hydrodynamic separator. I need something up here at the World Trade Center. Can you guys modify it so that it'll work for us? We were in communication with him, I'm saying close to a year, and finally came up with that design that was approved. And those 2 hydrodynamic separators went up to the World Trade Center and are now part of that complex. So we were very excited to be able to do that project with them. But if you can imagine it, we'll try and do it for you. Convenience, again, I said design to delivery. That's what Terry Hill Concrete Products is all about. And I might say too, just as a word of appreciation for the industry in general, the precast industry is really a small industry. And there are other people out there that make good products and have good services too. Old Castle, AC Miller, Atlantic, you know, we all know each other. We're all part of the PPA. We're all friends, even though we have to be competitors. But if you have problems or design issues, I would say contact Terry Hill Concrete Products, contact any one of those guys that I just mentioned, and somebody will help you try to solve your problem. Dale Groff was an employee of ours who was 40 years or so with us, and now he and their people have started YQS, and you're going to learn a lot more about YQS. I have a lot of respect and appreciation for what they do. It's great to be able to partner with them. And then last picture, there you go. It's my grandfather in the lower part, my father on the right-hand side, Terry Hill Concrete Products, Terry Hill Silo Company. And we always say, up there we're building silos. Pardon me, but we say, can you believe the shit we used to do years ago? When you look at guys, that's a 2.5-inch stave silo, and they're up 60 feet in the air, and they're walking around on top of that rib. Now, you know, you've seen pictures of the New York City steel guys and stuff like that, and you can say the same thing there. Can you believe that stuff they used to do years ago? Well, I guess we were no different before OSHA. But this is a picture of our World Trade Center project. You can see one of those hydrodynamic separators being lifted into position, and there you see the World Trade Center in the background, project that we're really proud of. So thank you for your time and attention. You guys have any questions? If not, I'll turn it over to JC.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you. Yeah, we have been developing an extraordinary relationship with Terry Hill, and the feeling are mutual. You know, we have a lot of respect, and there is a lot of projects out there that we are working together and design. So that was a great presentation, Nelson. And I know everybody has a proud picture. We have one, but I didn't bring it along today. It's going to be for the next one. So now that we have Mark, we have Gil and Nelson sharing the story and the experience that they have gathering during the years. It's my turn. My name is Juan Salas. So I am the Vice President of Your Quality Solutions. And I'm super excited to be here today with you guys. Thank you so much again for being with us. I know this is a work day. It's a lot of commitments, a lot of things to get done. But you take the time to be with us and learn a little bit about what we do. I was talking to somebody this morning about what YQS is doing here. So we are been in the industry for over 12 years. Technically, we come working on the maintenance. So, what's that? Oh, technology keep working. Yeah, no. You're good. Perfect, thank you. So, the primary purpose of this event is to meet you guys. You know, we want to come here to Philadelphia. We are from Lancaster area, and we want to start meeting people here. We want to let the people who we are, what we do, what we are in business, and how we can partnership together. So that is very, very important for us, establishing this relationship with all of you guys. So let me give you a quick background. How did I get involved in this industry? When I was the first employee of Your Quality Solutions back in 2014. And Dale Groff, which is the founder of the company, he took me to around to introduce me to some of the customers, clients. I hear myself going back to me somewhere. And I remember at the end of the day, we went to an office and Dale introduced me to the property management of that big shopping center in the Reading area. And he started talking to the person, Dell and him, talking about. And this is why we are here this morning. We are passionate about stormwater systems and management. Although from different places and organizations, we are all working towards the same goal, to leave our future generations a clean environmental where they can enjoy the wonders of the natural resources that this land has to offer. According to the American Society of Civil Engineering, a 221 infrastructure report cards notes that the damages from the urban flooding cause 9 billion of losses annually. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that the urban stormwater is the only major sources of pollution on the stormwater runoffs. Together, we can do something about this situation, okay? For me, one of the most critical resources that we have is the water. The water is a big deal. And that is not a coincidence that 3/4 of our body is made of water and 3/4 of the land that we live, the earth, is water as well. So let me give you a couple of facts about how the water works here. The earth contains around 1.386 million cubic kilometers of water. Only 2.5% of the water that exists on the earth is fresh water, and of amount 0.5% found in the ground deposits, and 0.1% in rivers and lakes. United States consumes more than 1.3 billion liters of water every day, and 90% of the water used in developing countries before they get to the rivers and creeks are not treated. So the contamination is terrible right now. So, as Nelson says, our founder, Mr. Del Groff, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, for the last 40 years has been working to develop systems that control stormwater pollution. Like many others, Del is an unsung hero of the environment. Del has developed and helping to make many of the systems being used today in large cities, as New York City, Nelson mentioned, and across the country. And it's a fundamental part of the goal that I mentioned at the beginning, which is to leave a better environment to our generations. Del, who is a pioneer by nature, noticed that those type of structures were being installed all over the country. He also saw that almost no one cared about maintaining them, and that's why in 2011, YQS was born. We started as a small company offering inspections to local systems in Lancaster area, but it took a little while for our service to spread to neighbor counties and to the entire state and neighbor states. As we walk and grew, we learned more and more about each of those systems that we found. We studied each of them in deep listening, and with this, we were educating our clients. When I say educating, I mean that we also noticed that in most cases, property owners have no idea of the existence of these structures on their property, and neither of the work that these structures perform. The stormwater treatment systems are complex units that require inspections and maintenance. Think about what will happen if you bought a new car and the dealer didn't tell you that the car needs to have an oil change and the specific important parts of the car need to be inspected regularly. So you start driving your new car with a complete peace of mind until one day all the alarms go off and your car no longer works. And after a professional check-in, you hear the surprise and bad news and that car no longer works. So, well, in the field of the stormwater system, this scenario is no different. So, and during more than 12 years of experience inspecting stormwater systems, we have become those mechanics who, on many occasions, have to deliver the bad news to some property owners that their systems do not work due to the lack of maintenance. Let's not be so negative. It is not all bad news. As they will say, in every crisis, there is always an opportunity. I like that phrase a lot. So in this case, a good news is that we are here today as a team, learning, and so putting ideas together so the bad news start being less and less, and the new projects are better and more efficiencies. The list of systems that we can find out there is a large variety. So we can have wells, detention basins, catch basins, infiltration, stormwater swells, surface drains, dry pond systems, retention ponds, and hydrodynamic separators, among others. Those units are increasingly using. The engineers are the first line of development, and they are in charge to design and establishing and put the drawings the units on the drawings for the different projects that they work. The logistic of inspection and maintenance of those structures must be taken into consideration when stamping them into the drawings. I can safely tell you that we have found BMPs that are almost impossible to inspect, even maintained, because of the lack of planning during the manufacturing, poor design, or poor location designs. We are in extraordinary technology age, and decisions are easy to make with a few clicks in our computer keyboard. It is necessary that we stop for a moment, put back into practice that great tool called common sense, and objectively think about good planning and learn to see projects from the different perspectives and angles. And not only from the perspective to saving time and making more money. A project is not finished at the end of the work. On the contrary, this is only the beginning. Remember, when buying a car, it does not end when you pay it and you get the keys. At that moment, the responsibility for that vehicle ends from the dealership and starts with the new owner. At YQS, we have made alliances with companies that are also highly related to the industry, such as Terry Hill Concrete Products. Terry Hill is a company, as Nelson mentioned, with more than 100 years, and is 100% based in Pennsylvania. They have experience in design and construction of different and very efficient BMPs, such as Terry Arches, box culverts, Terry Clings, among others. We have developed products such as your quality stormwater protector, which is this device that I have here on my left, this is the 100% device making here in Pennsylvania, and this unit is the first and most economical tool in the line of defense against stormwater pollution, and in combination with other devices, considerably reduce maintenance costs in the short and medium term. So this is very, very easy to install, 100% made in the area, which I'm concerned that things gonna fall apart any moment. Fix this. But when we have underground systems, if we install these units upstream on the inlets, they catch all the sediments, pollutants, total suspended solids on those bags, and that reduces the energy and the time and the money that takes remove all those sediments from the structures above the ground. So this is I can talk for hours about this product. I'm gonna be here at the end to ask questions if you guys want to know more about this. So this is one of the divisions that we have, like inspections and maintenance. So we have inspection divisions. Our inspection division use a point-of-art technology, such as the CCTV by inspections. This is the first unit that I bought, the YQS bought after the remote control car and the GoPro. We are able to use this unit to inspect pipes from 4 inches up to 72 inches. We can run this camera up to 1,000 feet, a line of pipe. This one is for sanitary and small pipes. This one is for more large pipes. We can go up to 72 inches, as I mentioned. And as right now, part of our team is being training in another unit that we just recently bought that this high technology, and they have a 100-year stone pipe inspection. Because technically, they allow us to, besides the camera, pictures, and videos, we can scan with a laser all the pipes inside, so we can create like a diagram in 3D that can show us deficiencies that are not captured by the camera lens or by the human eye. So this is a very neat piece of technology that we are implementing. It's going to be in service in the next couple of days. Our stormwater system inspections plans guarantee our clients a minimum of 2 annual inspections on the all BMPs. We maintain daily monitoring on the precipitation percentage in each property, which allows us to alert our clients to a high percentage of rainfall and to be able to inspect the units in a prudent time after each storm. This minimizes the chances of damage to structure and the environment. Our design divisions work with engineers and contractors daily to develop and design projects that fully meet the goal of minimizing the risk of contamination and proper stormwater management. Our installation department has installed and continue to install many storm control structures through the state. In conclusion, our story at YQS continues to grow and expand as a pioneer company in the stormwater industry. Our objective is to be able to continue creating more teams and not only be able to be part of the state economy, but offering our services to multiple projects that are carried out day by day and offer quality service and efficiencies and sustainable solutions for the environment. If there are always to partner with you, mitigate storm management problems, we have a proven track record and we deliver results. A big thank you to our speaker, Mark Was, Gil Rodriguez, Nelson Martin. I will also say thank you to Monique on the back. She has been very, very helpful to organize this event. And a special thanks to Terry Hill Concrete Products. They are the main sponsors of this activity today. So thank you so much, guys. Nelson, Josh, for your participation here. Thank you to Vish. He is our campaign manager for YQS, and he has been doing a lot of work to put this activity together. And to the whole YQS family. So we are a local company. We are in Lancaster County, and our goal is to partnership with all of you guys here in the Philadelphia area. As I said, our umbrella is very wide, so we are maintenance, inspections, precast, design, installations, and we can help you to design in any project. So we are just, all our information is on the material that we put on the table. There is phone numbers, there are email addresses, websites. So we are just a phone call, a click, an email away, and we would really like to start developing our relationship. The stormwater industry is not a new industry, but recently has been taking a lot of importance on the state and nationwide. There is a lot of regulations coming out every day, and so YQS feels the responsibility to be on top of these new regulations, learn how to manage them, do partnership with engineers. There is the first thing that we are doing, just reaching engineers and just present ourselves and prove. Thank you so much for being here today. If you guys have questions, either for Terry Hill people or for YQS, Mark Was is going to be connected again, and then we can respond to every question that you guys have for us. Thank you so much. Yeah, Q&A.
This device right here, is that for construction? Is that for permanent?
This is a permanent.
Okay.
It can be used as a construction, but most is used for permanent control pollution. Yeah. This
Hydraulics of the inlet is effective because it's got like less space to receive water.
Right. Yeah. The way that we design this is the filter, the GT160, is absorb the hydrocarbons, so we can trap oils and gasoline. Also, we can keep all this small particulars trapped in here. They have the screen, and we have extra oil hydrocarbons protection. So we sell 2 booms in each bag. The beauty of this thing is super simple to maintain. Super simple to maintain. Technically, the only thing that the customer, YQS actually offer the maintenance services. So we can install the units and enter into agreement with the customer that we can visit the property as many times the customer needed. And we can empty the bags, we can replace the bags, we can do whatever is needed to maintain this thing working in optimal conditions. It's 100% stainless steel and made in here in PA, so we're supporting local economy as well.
Do you clean it or do you replace it?
We replace it. Mostly it's when this thing starts receiving water, the liner filters start getting blind. So it's not a smart thing to clean it, because you're going to remove what is in the bag but not what is inside the bag. So we put a new one. So perhaps Terry Hill have a couple products there. We love it. We have been installing Terry Arches. It's an infiltration system. And when we combine those systems with these guys, so we capture technically all the contamination on the inlets, not on the arches, because the arches as an infiltration system, they need to keep the stone bed clean as possible for the water can do the work. So these guys, as I mentioned on the presentation, combined with with some of the water quality structures, is a very good combination to minimize costs on the maintenance sides.
Mike had a great question earlier. What makes this system different from the others?
That's a great question, Monique. Thank you. When I start inspecting properties all over the state, we found hundreds of these guys installing in different locations of the state. One of the locations that target us to design our own product was in Cumberland Valley, where there was a parking lot with 17 of these guys. 2 years on the ground, and none of them have the bag already in place. The bag was gone. So when we found the frames and all the trash on the floor of the inlet, so we start thinking, so what was the problem? And we came to the conclusion that most of these products are coming from Florida and the West Coast. So they have warehouses around the states and the East Coast when they sell it, but nobody is offering maintenance. So when you put this thing on the ground after a season, like a heavy rain, fall, winter, all that get froze, and it's 100% sure that the bags are going to collapse because the weight is going to increase. So we put together this unit. Actually, this is the 5th generation. We start with something. Our feed basket was like a grill, a big metal box, and we put in an inlet, 100% steel, heavy, but it did the work. And when we started doing maintenance inspections, we found that the way that somebody can just easily pick them up, the bags, discharge and put new ones, is going to make the whole difference in the maintenance. So what makes this unit different, Monique, is that YQS is the only company on the market that not only perform in manufacturing the unit, also we offer maintenance in each of these structures. So the customer can be sure that the unit is going to be working for years. Because these units, easily you can, if you don't maintain these guys, you need to buy a new one every 1.5 years, 2 years. No more questions?
One more question. Does that meet any regulatory requirements? Like, is that providing any, water quality benefits that meet certain requirements for safety?
There is regulations on the EP department that they depend on the site conditions. They recommend or they ask the people to put like inlet filters. It is considered a BMP, a best man. That is depend on the project is required. So places like shopping centers, gas stations, or big parking lots when there is a lot of traffic of heavy vehicles. When rain is a lot of oil, then it's going to be dragging to the parking lot. Those units are perfect to catch that sediments before they get into stormwater systems on the ground.
What would it compete with, like for another? What is a competing product that also, I guess, meets the regulatory requirements?
Hydrodynamic separators.
In the...
So like Terry Clean products, which is Terry Clean's units developed by Terry Hill. There is a 2-chambers store. They have like an inking plates and compartments when the water enters in one cavity, and they keep all the TSSs, to the total suspended solids on one side. There is a screen. The more clean water passes to the other side. There is an inking plates on the other end that during the high value energy, the water trap the sediments and sitting on the ground, and they escape. The more clean water escape to the lines. That is a very nice product, but it's more involved. That requires, they have to be put on the ground by crane, maintenance required, vac trucks. They do the work. This is a simple system. So I'm not saying that Terry Cleans are doing the job. So this is different products. So Terry Cleans are necessary as any other BMPs. This is the first line of defense, I would say, to catch more of the sediments above the ground and out of the ground.
Sorry, Jason, question online. How much weight can float hold?
That's a lot. Actually, each bag can hold up to 250 pounds.
So it's altogether 500?
More or less. And we tested because when we was pulling it together, I jumped into one of those and they hold me for 5 minutes. I'm not gonna tell you how much I weigh, but I was a lot. Yeah. I shouldn't bring that picture. I have that picture. I was standing on top of that thing. Maybe Osha wouldn't like it.
Do you have that picture? That picture with?
I do have that picture, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I have Dale on one side and me on the other one. Dale doesn't allow me to show the picture to anybody. Perfect. So if there is no more questions, there is any question for Mark in Vish? He's not. Okay. So again, thank you very much, everybody. Again, we are an email, a phone call away on our website, and we're more than happy to partner you with any project you guys believe that we can help you. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Did I respond?